Hello, fellow Voyagers. Jess here with Odyssey Human, here today to talk about how to dissolve lack for good. Welcome to the channel. This is the place where we help you hack through the jungles of consciousness and find the hidden treasures inside of you. Welcome. If that sounds good to you, please subscribe. We'd love to have you. Thanks to all our subscribers. Is it possible to dissolve lack for good? Yes, you're the creator. You can do anything. So I'm going to give you some tools today. Watch all the way to the end. I'm going to give you a very advanced tool at the end of the video and a basic tool to just get you started on this path. Because anything is possible, right? And lack is just a habit. Lack is just a conditioned response. Because what is lack? Lack is a belief that we can ever be separate from what we want. That we can not only be separate from the emotions and the sensation of what we want, but also seeing it in the 3D. And so lack is a belief in separation, is a loyalty, is a faithfulness to separation. And so it can range anywhere from, oh, I broke a nail and I'm a little bit annoyed about it, to, feeling triggered about, oh, I missed my SP and I heard a song that reminded me of them, and I'm starting to feel that nostalgia and the longing and the sadness. And often in manifesting, we're coming to manifesting because we feel a lot of lack. We feel separate from our desires. We feel like they're not here. And in the video I made last week, I'll link above the 10 most powerful manifesting techniques. I said, know that your desires are already here, and the only thing keeping you from them is the belief in lack. So I'm going to give you some tools today. If you haven't checked out that video, go watch it now and come back, because they kind of build on each other. Yeah. So lack is a bad habit. Lack is something we agreed to believe in because society conditioned us to believe in it, right? That we could possibly lose anything. So what do? We just replace, when we want to do habit change, all we have to do is pick a new habit. We pick a new habit and we plug it into the habit circle. What is the habit circle? Habits, there are 3 elements to them, right? If you look at it like a circle, the first point on the circle is the cue. So you get triggered. You get triggered to do the behavior, the habit. Maybe that's hearing the song, or, getting reprimanded by your boss, or whatever it is, or breaking your nail, or getting a flat tire, whatever those things are that make you feel lack, you get triggered. Right? The second point on the circle is the actual habit. A habit is a behavior, right? When the trigger hits you, what behavior do you do? The behavior with lack is going down a thought spiral of believing that the lack is real, right? And then trying to address it, trying to fix the problem, trying to get away from it, because the emotions that come up, right, as part of the cue, when we get triggered, we have these emotions of separation, of anxiety, of fear, of sadness, of panic that are really uncomfortable. And so that is a part of the habit. Those emotions are part of the conditioned habit of lack, right? And, in order to fix that, in order to alleviate that, we often, try to solve the problem. Like I said, that's a part of the belief in lack, is believing that then we have to fix the problem, solve the problem. And then the third point on the circle, once we're doing that, once we're in that process, right, is the reward. Habits always have a reward. What is the reward? With lack, the reward just might be in, I'm just doing what society taught me to do, right? I'm being realistic. I'm trying to, I'm solving my problems. I'm a problem solver. It's kind of thoughts similar to that. Or it may even just be invisible to us, because a lot of these conditioned habits, including lack, we learned as kids, right? We saw our parents experience lack. We saw our teachers, our friends. It was and a pandemic, the lack pandemic in our society. And so we just got on the same boat. We're like, oh, this is what's normal. And so the reward might not be immediately obvious, but the reward could be very intrinsic of just, oh, I'm just being realistic. Like, that's the reward. Because to not believe in lack right? To subscribe to these beliefs that there is no separation, that everything is coming from me. I mean, that's that if if you're calibrating by what society thinks, it could be pretty avant-garde. It could be pretty out there. It could be, and so we're kind of afraid to believe that. We're afraid, there's some fear in investing in that belief and actually dropping the belief in lack. So there's 2 steps to reconditioning the lack. If you're ready to drop lack, if you're ready to stop believing in it, here's what we do. The first thing we want to do is decide right now if this is what you want to believe. Like really commit to, and you may have heard the belief a million times already on manifesting channels that you're creator. You're a creator. You're the center of it all. But how much do you really go all in on that belief? Are you still clinging on the side to, you still have one hand on trying to be realistic? Are you going all in? Do you really recognize yourself as a creator? Do you feel the same way about reality that you feel about a nighttime dream or your imagination? Do you recognize that it's really streaming through you? And you'll have had, just as I was saying all those things, you'll have had sensations that will tell you whether you really believe that or not. So if you're ready, if you felt the stickiness of oh, I want to believe it. I intellectually believe it, but in my heart, I'm not sure. It's okay. It's okay. You acknowledge that, and we're gonna do some habit reconditioning and get on board with lack is just an illusion. We can drop the belief in lack and see what happens, and really embrace the oneness, being creator, being the center of it all, being source, being, we can do that right now. So, decide if that's what you want to believe. If you're deciding now, then keep on watching. So let's go back to the habit circle. So what we want to do is change the behavior that's in the middle, right? We're still going to get triggered. We're going to feel the cue. We're going to get triggered into the habit. And instead of going to the belief in the habit of lack, that I can be separate from what I want, that something can be taken away from me, that I can be less than because of something I see in the 3D, that I can be separate from my desires, we're going to pick a new behavior and insert it into that spot on the circle. And then we're going to get a different reward, right? We're going to experience a different reward and a different outcome, and recondition ourselves gradually through just practicing this to where it's automatic, it's effortless, it's easy, it's natural, it's who you are. And then through that process, we essentially have changed your identity. So when you feel the lack, and the cue is, those emotions of lack, the panic, the fear, the separation, that sticky, gross feeling that you feel, you're actually going to pull your awareness back in. Because if you think about it, when you feel those emotions, it's because your thoughts and your awareness are actually kind of flowing out into 3D, right? They're out searching for an answer. They're out reacting to the lack. They've kind of gone out of you like a spider web. Like you've shot, lack is, think about your spidey sense. You've shot your spider web out into the illusion, out into the hologram, and you're looking for something that you're never going to find out there. So what we want to do, and I want you to feel the sensation of this. Imagine those negative emotions. Imagine that you have a problem out there and you're experiencing that. Now pull it all back in. Like retract your spider web. It's like you're taking your awareness from out and putting it right back in. Right? Your head is the one that sends out these thoughts, these feelings, the fear, the creative part of your mind that's imagining all these, blah, 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 the busyness that goes out into the world and is looking, searching, trying to solve, blah, 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 blah. You can feel that energy, that kind of chaotic. But what we're going to do is pull it all back into kind of your heart, your chest, your core. Because your heart knows, right? Your heart doesn't waver like that. Your heart's just like, yeah, this is it. Your heart acts from a knowing. So we're just going to pull your awareness. This is the behavior we're replacing lack with. Just pull it all back in. You don't have to do the sound, but just imagine, just do a visual or feel the sensation of just collecting your awareness and pulling it back into your core. And you probably just did it now. And then there should be a sensation of safety, calm, quiet, groundedness. So that's the behavior. That's all we got to do. So when we get the cue of lack, recognize that you're sending out those spider webs of lack. You're sending out your awareness is diffusing out into the hologram, and all you have to do is call it back. So just the awareness of calling it back, consolidate into your core, into your heart if you want to think about doing it in your heart. And yeah, pull it back in. Just some tips. Make it playful. Make it fun. Make it lighthearted. I like to think about Lack Attack. It's like Mars Attack. It was a movie in the 90s or the aughts where these aliens with giant eyes. It was like Mars Attacks. Lack Attack. Do this with the nuance of fun, playfulness, sacred. Make it a sacred activity for yourself. Anything but putting effort to it. If it feels effortful or like a lot of work or you're not enjoying it, that implies lack, right? You're infusing the process with more lack. We don't want to do that, right? We're conditioning out of the lack. So yeah, appreciate the process for what it is. Just do it in order to consolidate, right? To return to yourself. And you're going to be amazed. Try this for a week. So whenever you feel lack, you feel those sticky emotions, pull back your awareness, your consciousness, consolidate it into yourself, and keep your awareness on your core until that feeling kind of passes. Keep it in there and just repeat. If it happens again, you do it again, right? And do it knowing that you're doing this for yourself. You're doing this for yourself because you don't believe in lack anymore. You're going to be amazed at the power of dropping a belief. If you haven't watched my Manifesting the Paranormal video, The Power of Dropping a Belief, check that out. I'll link it above. And let me know how it goes. Leave a comment below. Let me know how it goes. And I'm happy to help you adjust, or if you need any tips or help or have questions, feedback. And your advanced maneuver. So if you hear like, oh, reconditioning, if that feels like a lot of work to you, you can skip the line. That's the doing, right? There's being, doing, having. Being, having, doing, the 3 states. That's the doing. I like doing. Sometimes I need a tool. Sometimes I need to do, and that's okay. That is totally okay. If you're at the level of consciousness where you can transition between identities, that's what you want. You can go right to being the person who doesn't believe in lack. You can do that right now in this very moment. And you'll feel yourself shift, right? Shifting identities is just literally jumping into a state of consciousness where, yeah, I don't believe in lack anymore. Just like I don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. I don't believe in the paranormal anymore. I don't believe in being an HSP anymore. You can shift it that quick. If that is too advanced for you and you just reached for that and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can get there, that's okay. Try the basic tool I just gave you and check us out next week, because we'll be talking about identity shifting and how to do that. We'll go through an experiential exercise where we'll do that. So try it out for a week. And again, if you need a little more help on identity shifting, we'll be covering that very soon. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.